Hello all. I decided to stitch some bits of gameplay together here, as mentioned in the previous video, that shows off a little bit of how difficult it can be to get footage for the gameplays. This video, because I've edited a load of it and speeded bits up and cut bits out and all the rest of it, doesn't seem as though it was too time consuming to get the footage, but in actual fact, the footage from this video and the real gameplay video that you got earlier on actually took 2 hours to compile, and then there's editing and all that, so just a glint into what it's like to try and get content for the channel. For some of you this might just be some bonus content to have a laugh at, and then for others it might be a glimpse into what it's like to run a channel like this. Maybe some of you are looking to do it yourself, and you just have to be aware of how difficult it can be sometimes. So if you continue to watch, then I hope you all enjoy it. I'll see you all in a second. Syr Gwyn, hero of Ashvale, versus Mina and Den Wildborn. One lander is not something I'm about to keep. And then just get into nothing but mana. We'll keep it, we'll just have to hope that we can get into something other than lands. Let's get rid of the Cavern of Souls. I doubt our opponent's going to be doing much countering. Then we'll get a tap land out of the way. Could have gone for a bunch of rocks and stuff on turn 1, but I don't want my opponent to scoop on us, and also there's actually nothing to do with all the mana currently. We'll do it next turn, I think. Sylvan Safekeeper from our opponent. They'll be able to give creatures Shroud with that. We'll go Urborg into Sol Ring, into the Talisman of Conviction, and then we'll play out the Battle Axe. And now we're online for our commander next turn, assuming that we keep our rocks in play. And I haven't played with Embercleave yet, so hopefully we'll be able to swing in with our commander and equip that. Syr Gwyn, hero of Ashvale, versus Narset, Enlightened Master. Yeah, my favourite. That is a tap land. No, it isn't. Choose a creature type. 1 mana of any colour. Hopefully we can go into Chromatic Lantern fairly soon. We're on the draw, so yeah, I think we've got more chance of drawing into a land that way. Also nice to have the Conqueror's Flail, although we've nothing to attach it to. Alright, Bojuka Bog is... yeah, we'll just get that out of the way because it's a tap land. Yeah, Conqueror's Flail is really good because it keeps our opponent from using counter magic, but we need something to equip it to, preferably. And then our opponent going for Gorgon's Head and a bounce land. We get Hammer of Nazan, so let's go in for our Lightning Greaves. Yeah, we'll go in for Lightning Greaves because we might want to go for Sigarda's Aid before we cast Conqueror's Flail. Brass Squire from our opponent, so this is clearly some kind of Voltron equipment version of Narset, which isn't typical. We will finally fix our mana by going for the Chromatic Lantern. We do not have any white yet, so we're going to need this Chromatic Lantern to stick. We'll go for Sigarda's Aid, and that should set us up quite nicely. If we get into a land next turn, we should be able to go Mirran Crusader into the Conqueror's Flail. Alright, a Swiftfoot Boots from our opponent into Aureox Steel Shaper. They can equip the Swiftfoot Boots for free now. Have to watch out for the creature that allows our opponent to equip things at instant speed, because they'll be able to bounce the boots all over the place in response to any spot removal. Well, there is a land. It's a white one as well, so that's good if our opponent manages to get rid of the lantern. We'll grab ourselves a Mirran Crusader That's double strike and pro black and green. And then does Sigarda's Aid target is the question. Whenever an equipment enters under your control, you may attach it to a target creature you control, so it doesn't get around Lightning Greaves, unfortunately. +1/+1. I say we wait on the Greaves here and try and take our opponent by surprise with the flail. And if they've got spot removal, then so be it. At least they don't have it in hand anymore. And we should be able to get the Crusader back with Sun Titan anyway. Sun Forger from our opponent. That's a frightening one. They can equip it for free with the Brass Squire as well. They won't be able to use the ability on it yet, but they will next turn. Gorgon's Head going onto the Brass Squire. Paying for that one. And then we'll see if the Sunforger goes onto something as well. It does give a buff to power. Deciding not to. They're probably going to try and take us by surprise with the Sunforger. At the end of their turn, we'll get down the Conqueror's Flail. And we'll say yes to the free equip. A Talisman of Hierarchy. That will put us on our commander next turn. And we'll also be able to go for the Hammer of Nazan this turn as well. So let's play that out. We'll get a buff on our creature, as well as making it indestructible, so that should make it difficult for our opponent to block. Hammer of Nazan equips itself, Sigarda's Aid equips it as well. And then we will protect our Mirren Crusader with the Lightning Greaves. And we'll swing in with a 5/3 indestructible with Shroud, Haste, Double Strike, and Pro Black and Green. Knocking them down by 10 there. Now deciding to equip the Sunforger during their turn. And then unequipping it, immediately making use of the Sunforger. They can now search for a red or white instant with CMC 4 or less and cast it without paying the mana cost. Syr Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, versus Rubinia, Soul Singer. We have, well, we've got ramp, lands, things to cast, so that is as good a hand as any to keep. So let's go in for a black and white here, then we can get onto double white in for a Mirren Crusader. Then a Sol Ring, and we'll play the Bloodforged Battle Axe as well. And see how fast a start our opponent can get off to. Just playing a land and passing the turn, we get into Tournament Grounds. So let's play that. Our Mirren Crusader is a knight, so we can make use of the white mana there. And then we'll pass over again. Need a couple more lands here so that we can get into our commander and start drawing some cards. Our opponent gets into their own ramp. They've still got 5 cards in hand. 2 lands in a row actually isn't terrible. We do control a swamp, so Tainted Field will be switched on. Okay. Syr Gwyn, Hero of Ashvale, versus Torbrand, Thane of Redfell. Plenty of mana there, no reason not to keep that. And our opponent's starting things off with a Myriad Landscape. Hopefully they've got enough mana to pour into that. Especially seeing as how we are starting off with a Sol Ring. Then going into a Mind Stone, so yeah, they're going to have plenty of mana by the looks of it. Let's shock down our Sacred Foundry. And we'll just go in for the Knight of the White Orchid. I doubt our opponent's going to end up having more lands than we are. So we'll just get it down now. And then it is a Blood Moon from our opponent. Almost should have expected a Blood Moon. We could have played around that, I suppose. So let's get down the basic planes and hope for a black mana. Tormenting Voice, discard and draw 2. Followed by a Grape Shot. just going to kill off our creature here. We get into Leon and Shikari. Let's drop the Isolated Chapel, might as well keep making land drops. Now we'll play out this 2/2 creature. Really need black mana for the Anguished Unmaking though, but we don't have all that many basics in the deck. And in Mardu we have no means of acquiring them either. Not without fetches anyway. Then a Chandra, Torch of Defiance, exiling a Lightning Bolt off the top. They can't cast that. Clifftop Retreat, we're getting into plenty of lands, but they're all useless to us. Go in at Chandra and pass the turn. That Blood Moon has really ground the game to a halt. Our opponent gets into some mana in Mana Crypt. And here comes Torbran. All red sources will deal an additional 2 damage with him in play. Then exiling the top again. And they get a repeated Reverberation. Again, plenty of mana, nothing to do with it.